I personally think social media is yes, it has changed a lot. I was actually looking at a video from the 80s that was on TikTok.
Okay.
And gosh, I really missed that time as well. It was such a lovely video because I actually was a teen during those times. I mean, you asked me the question earlier, what is the one thing the world needs more of? And
Yeah.
I said kindness, but the other thing the world needs more of is joy. Because really we should be living in joy, everybody, and we can.
Hello to you and welcome to Legend Spotlight. And today we're going to have a very different direction on a very special episode on someone that I admire a lot in terms of a side that touches my heart in terms of animals, pets, and everything that is alive. Right. So today it's not just about kindness. It's not just about business. Today, my guest is someone who has lived the sides of both worlds, right? Without any further ado, Otara Gunewardene. Hello again.
Hi.
It's really nice to have
Back
you on the
again.
show. Yes. Thank you so much for the prompt responses. Rina did an amazing job. And so did the rest of your team.
Thank you.
Welcome, Otara, to Legend Spotlight. So today, I wanted to talk about compassion because it's a choice. And I think it's a topic that you are following with passion through Embark, your brand. And I wanted to talk about how we can choose to be more compassionate towards our own actions. Yeah. So before any of that, how are you doing? How is Otara nowadays? I see a lot of boom on social media.
Yeah, I'm having fun doing all of it on my TikTok and Instagram.
I love that.
Mostly those two platforms.
Yes, I
I'm
love
on
that.
others also, but mostly those two.
Okay, so TikTok and Instagram mostly.
Mostly, yes, but TikTok I do some fun, crazy stuff. I enjoy it.
Definitely
And
you
I think a
should.
lot of people enjoy it as well, which I like, which I'm happy about.
If animals could speak, what would the first thing that would come out of their mouth, as in like in terms of a voice for them? What would they say? What do you think in terms of this whole topic?
Well, I mean, I think they can speak. We just can't hear it. And we don't listen, and we don't. We think we speak different languages, but actually we do communicate with each other. If we go beyond our human selves, our 3D human selves, then I think you can connect more and you can understand more. You can see the little communications that all of them have actually within themselves and with us. I mean, yeah, I guess that, it's what they would all say is, to live more outside of your head and more in your heart, and connect with other beings and with everything, with all beings around you, because we are not separate from each other. We are all connected. We are also only one species. They're all different species. So it's all just a cycle of life and connectivity.
Yeah.
So we are not separate. The thing is, we've kind of decided that we're separate. We're more superior. We're more demanding. And then, of course, we have our human traits of, greed, anger, hate, desire, which are, often in great excess, which also cause us much pain and much suffering.
Yeah.
And which is why they say the path to freedom and happiness is to live without all, to find your way out of all that.
The Zen.
So yeah, I mean, I think we have to understand that we're all connected.
So you've spent years and years advocating on kindness and rescuing animals. What's that one thing that breaks your heart every day? Like I had my fair share of seeing what happens in and around the world. And I try to do change at least by my voice of however I can. Mm-hmm. What is that one thing that breaks your heart that you see that's happening on a daily?
Well, I mean, I think there are quite a few things, but the biggest thing for me also is captivity. It really bothers me how we keep animals captive and how we keep them on chains, how we keep them in cages, and we don't think twice at all about, it doesn't even register to many as to what we're doing, to an animal by keeping them locked up and not able to, to move freely, and deprive them of their freedom and their rights to live free. And again, because they don't have the human words to speak of their suffering. People just assume that it's okay to lock them up, and so that's something I really dislike. When I was a child, when I was a teenager, I used to work in the zoo as a volunteer for many years, and at that time I didn't realize how it was for animals being captive. I used to think it was wonderful, and that, of course, from my side, that I got to play with them, I got to interact with the lions and the leopards, and I thought it was so amazing. But I never thought, how my pleasure and my desire was at the expense of these animals being in captivity. All they see 24 hours a day is a cement box. I mean,
A box, being caged
we
up.
put people who are very,
Criminals.
very cruel, or who have done so much harm in situations like that. These animals have done nothing. So that's one thing. And the rest I see on a daily basis of all the different forms of abuse and cruelty, but I also see a lot of good. So I try to focus more on the good, and otherwise, it becomes very hard to do the work I do every day, because it tends to affect you. I just focus on what I can do to make a difference, and each day, and how I can contribute, and and then that's hopefully that brings more change and greater relief and happiness to
Brings
to
change.
many.
Okay, so speaking of the same subject, right? Do you think that how we treat animals also reflect on how we treat each other? Kindness comes from the heart. Sometimes, if you have been done wrong, it's justified to you to do wrong to another person, humanely. If you have been brought up wrong, certain things that may not abide by the law is the right thing for them in their eyes. They think they're doing the right thing. So, do you think how we treat animals also reflect on this matter with the culture?
Yeah, of course it does. Everything that you do is because of some form of something internally in you, right? Something you've experienced, or some difficulty you've been through, or some childhood trauma, or something. And everything we see sort of happening outside is a reflection of who people are. So if people are abusive, and if people are cruel, obviously that's they have experienced something like that, because for them it's normal, to do the same to another being, and it's the same with. I think it's the same with not only the animals, but even what we do to each other, how we treat each other. Everything is to do with. It's a reflection of us, and how we are within, and all of it is to do with healing required, within us. You can, of course, change that, but you have to work on it, to understand why you do it, what is it that makes you do it, and and to figure out, what it is that normalizes that sort of behavior within you, and once you understand that, you can obviously change a lot, and so I think it is of course to do with. Things you've been through, things you think is to normalize, the cruelty and the abuse that you put out. You've obviously been through a lot yourself, I think.
And I think the fact that people has to change and they have to work on themselves, right? Like you mentioned, and the culture today, it doesn't help much on improving yourself and looking into your trauma. They look at it as a weakness of a form. I think that's a breakage of this formality that we need to break from. And either way, moving on, of course, I want to know what Otara is up to nowadays. Because I also want to raise awareness on how and what you're doing, right? this whole program is about raising or being compassionate. But also I want to know what Otara is doing nowadays.
Well, over the years I've done a lot, and of course, business-wise, and building a business, and then after that, building another business, and also through Embark and through animal welfare, the advocacy I've done, and a lot of programs, a lot of activism, a lot of awareness campaigns, actually a lot. And but in the last year or two, I've just sort of scaled it down a bit because it sort of gets to you as well. It gets a bit exhausting, and so
it's a lot of work.
so it's just taking some time for myself and to see other things I like to
travel.
do. And I used to travel a lot, a little less now, and I travel a bit less now, but I still do and still enjoy it. But
any favorite destinations so far? Top 3 or top 2, maybe top.
Well, I mean, in Sri Lanka, I go down south or to Aruga. I really love Arugan Bay, and of course, I love most other places as well. And there was a time also, about 4 or 5 years, where I was doing a lot of traveling in Sri Lanka, and a lot of sort of content and videos, from my younger to the Vedda community, to the indigenous, about the indigenous people, about, spending time in the villages, about the food, how they grow paddy the natural way. So many things I used to do.
Right.
I've seen a lot. I've learned a lot, and and I do like to travel overseas sometimes, but a bit less because there was a time I was traveling a lot.
Okay.
So it's kind of nice not to travel also.
Explore what's within.
Yeah, and and then I do all this my content, and I still do, of course, some the rescue work and things, which also takes up quite a bit of time. And a lot of the activities around Embark, which I used to do, I've scaled it down. We used to do a lot of programs outside, a lot of adoption days and things, which I've actually stopped now because it was getting a bit hard to find homes and things. And I feel I've done quite a bit, and I just want some space.
For yourself.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Sometimes chasing a purpose takes a lot.
Yeah.
But you're taking a time for yourself and pacing, I guess, and being aware. That's something very difficult to do sometimes.
Of course, I am still really busy. It doesn't mean I'm like the whole day I'm always doing something, but
Dogs or cats?
Both.
If one could describe animals in Sri Lanka in one word.
Gorgeous.
One human quality that the world needs more of.
Kindness.
If everybody could learn a lesson from dogs, what would it be?
Pure love.
The most underrated act of kindness.
I pass on that one.
Okay. One word you want your legacy to be.
That's a tough one. Meaningful.
Very deep. Very deep answer indeed. All right. Thank you so much for those answers. As we look at the world out there, there's so many problems, right? One after the other, in terms of humans, in terms of others. What made you look at the factor of animals specifically?
Well, I mean, it's something from my childhood, I've always absolutely loved animals. And I thought it was always so important for us to live in harmony with them, to love them, to care for them, because until we do that, that is why we're having all the problems and why we're having all the pain and the difficulties, and that you said the world is full of problems and things, and that is one of the reasons why, because we don't understand how to live in harmony with nature, with animals, with each other, and a lot of these problems and difficulties are also created so that we remain divided, so that we remain struggling, so that we remain upset and fighting each other and having to live a difficult life each day. And I think, you asked me the question earlier, what is the one thing the world needs more of, and I said kindness, but the other thing the world needs more of is joy. because really we should be living in joy, everybody, and we can. It's just that it's made so hard that then everybody loses the joy, and then the whole cycle starts
Yeah,
again.
the toxic cycle.
And then again they go on to hurting the animals, hurting ourselves, hurting each other, and so
On and on and on.
whereas if there's more joy and you're given the space to have more joy and happiness, which is actually how we should be living, then we can all, things will be a lot better.
If we could teach a child to care for animals, what sort of adults are we going to create in the future generations?
We'll create much happier, much more peaceful, much more content adults, because really we are all born with that love within us. We are all born with the ability to live in harmony. It's what happens along the way that changes us. And what each, how we are taught, how we are brought up, what things are put into our mind from our childhood. I mean, why does one child like me have absolute love and care for animals and had absolutely no fear for animals from the time I was a child? And why is there a child who is so terrified of even going near a dog at 6-7 years old, even though a dog has done nothing to them? It's because maybe they have been told from
mindset.
Be careful, they're going to bite, stay away. I don't know, maybe. So it's a lot of who we are and how we are is also a programming that's put in our minds from a young age, from how we are brought up, what we are taught, what we are shown, and that sort of defines who we are and our path in life. Of course, you can change that program. So I think definitely if we are not changed from that sort of, the love and compassion we're actually born with, and the harmonious way of life. I mean, if you see a child, and how they behave and what they do, they're so free, so joyous, and so loving, and they don't have all those sort of burdens that come on the older you get, and the filters that are put on you as you get older, and really we should never lose that, no matter how old we are. We should always have that. However, when there are some adults who do have it, then they are kind of treated as weird and funny and like strange, and like what are they doing, and like that sort of thing. Kind of, I don't know, maybe in a way that's what I'm doing with my videos. I don't know why I suddenly love having my doing those fun videos and things, but it gives great freedom, and it gives great fun and joy, and I think as adults we lose that, and we shouldn't lose it, really. It's something that we should have within us, even though we get older.
That's really something to think about now that you mention it. As we grow older, right, as we age, certain things we lose, but you inspire others, not just your age. I've seen a lot of younger generation. I don't know whether you have noticed it. They see a lot of influence from you, like this new generation, or should I say Gen Z, and even Gen Alphas. They're very kind towards animals.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a change happening, for sure.
There's a very good change happening. So I think the answer that you gave aligns with the whole generation and the next gen. Everybody who watches this episode, imagine all of them being 10% kinder from today, from now. What would the change be like, Otara? I know you're a person who have seen mass changes and you've experienced great things in life, right? And this concept of what if they're 10% more compassionate towards animals and themselves also, what would the world look like in your eyes?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything would would change a lot and be more peaceful and happy, and it's also all to do with energy and frequency, and so if you can uplift that, a lot of things change around you as well. And if you raise the energy levels to be more positive and the vibrations to be more positive, I think it changes a lot. And like, more than even focusing on everyone else, you really have to focus on yourself.
Yeah.
And see what can you do, what things can you do to make a change within yourself, within your surroundings, with whatever you can do, and less sort of judgment on what someone else is not doing, or what they're doing wrong, or whatever, how they look, or whatever it is, because all that actually sort of affects you sort of negatively. It's sort of negative programming, and it doesn't really matter. It's like what you do and how you feel and how you act, that makes a difference. And I don't know, I've always tried to use my platforms and my voice to try to sort of make a change with animals, with retail, with fashion, with
connecting.
so many things. And I think I would like to think that it has brought a lot of positive change, and I'm not always positive and happy or free, but you have to work towards that. Everybody goes through different stages, and so I do my best to try and because I believe that the country and the world, it can be improved, can be made better, happier, more joyful, and better for everyone, people and animals.
Yeah. Not that you haven't. A lot of people, right, when they speak about animal kindness, your name is being brought up. So that means you have a massive influence on the whole message that you're trying to portray. So I've seen it myself, right?
Well, because it's genuine, it's not put on, it's from within. I don't do it because it's sort of trendy, or it brings sort of more followers or anything.
Nothing like that.
I do it because I truly believe it, and that's how I've been my whole life. So so I think maybe people do see the genuine side of it, and feel that, and it's all about like trying to help others, to see it, and in that sense to help animals as well.
Now, Otara, for a person who have lived the best of both worlds, right? Like Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana, you got the hair for it now.
Huh?
You got the hair for it now. Right? In 50 years, what would you love to be remembered as in terms of your work?
Just someone who's made meaningful change, and I don't know. Actually, that's something that has to come from the other people. Like, I don't think I can define it, but I just live to sort of create a better way in whatever area I can contribute in, which for me, of course, has been in from my young age, has been, I guess, modeling, fashion, retail, business, entrepreneurship, and animal advocacy, and maybe there are other things, but anyway, that's what I can. I'm a good mother, which I don't talk about enough.
You got 2 sons?
Yeah, I have 2 sons.
Yeah, one was into DJing, if I'm not.
They both are.
Both are, right? The last time we spoke.
Yeah, they both love music, and they're sort of in this whole music world.
Fashion?
No, one is a model.
Model, yes, yes.
So he models and he's a DJ, and they both love this music, actually. Anyway, I think someone else should define that. I don't think it's up to me to I just do what I can each day to make a positive difference.
What would your message, or the message on compassion, be to the people who's listening in terms of how you can be compassionate to one another before you are compassionate towards an animal? Because you have to be kind to yourself and others around you first, and then comes the real compassion from your heart, right? how and what would the message from you be to them that may have helped you somewhere in your life that might have made a difference in you? Because we are not, in a nutshell, happy every day, sad every day, or even motivated every day. Even Otara might have needed some motivation to pull through on being kind, and compassionate. It's not just who we are sometimes. It takes a little bit of an effort. So for the ones who's watching in or watching this right now, what would your message be?
Well, I mean, I think it's something that we all have within us. I think, like I said earlier, it's something that has, how the way we've lived or what we've been through. And I mean, of course, I there are days I get annoyed or angry, and sometimes I'm not happy with how I respond sometimes. And that it's all to do with. It's nothing to do with that person. It's to do with me. Maybe that day something has stressed me out or something has triggered me, and but I'm very conscious of it. And but I know, I'm in those places as well.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll say sometimes an unkind word to somebody who calls, but it's never about that. It may seem to that person like it's about them, but it's not. It's like you have to catch yourself. Because there are so many situations that are around you each day, right? Like each day, even how you wake up, the energies around you, something that's happened, something that's worrying you, and then you take it out on someone else. And I think that's how it is for many, because we are all sort of, we are all in this sort of kind of like a play, right? Like we're all in this sort of like a movie set that we are in this life that we live, and you can choose the character that you want to be, and you can choose the role that you want to play, and you can always change that, but you have to have the awareness and the consciousness to change that, and to be so you can, and I don't think you have to be compassionate to people first before you be compassionate to animals. I think it can be the other way around also.
Yeah.
You can be compassionate to animals first and then realize, you're not doing the same to people. But like I said, it's all one circle, so it's not one or the other.
Yeah.
And it's all within you. So you have to be compassionate to yourself first and kind to yourself first before you can be kind and compassionate before you project that out as well.
Give the younger generation who's listening in a message for the future, right? Not just the ones who have social media, like, maybe the ones that are not born yet. A message from Otara, right? To become compassionate, right? To spread more kindness, maybe towards animals, maybe towards everybody, and towards yourself. Would you have a few words for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think most important is to find your own path, not be confused by, what you're told, what the directions that are given to you, no matter what. You need to know your own path and be brave enough and bold enough to take the steps towards walking that path. Because there are a lot of voices, especially now, also with social media, there are a lot of voices, there are a lot of opinions, there are a lot of, like if you post something, everyone in the comments has an opinion about you and your hair and your body and your face and what you're doing, and this is wrong and that is wrong. And a lot of them don't like to see anything new as well, like a new opinion that you gave, or sort of a new way of thinking is also quite challenging for many. So there's a lot of noise, a lot of clutter out there. So I think, I personally think, social media is yes, it has changed a lot. I was actually looking at a video from the 80s that was on TikTok.
Okay.
And gosh, I really missed that time as well. It was such a lovely video, because I was a teen during those times. So, we never had phones, we never had none of that. Right? It was such a beautiful life, actually. But, of course, in the world we live in today, you can use it for good. You can use it to learn a lot.
Yeah.
I have learned a lot because of it, and there's so many different. You also have to be open to looking at different views, at different sort of new ways of thinking, new sort of ways of new sort of what should I say? New sort of ways of believing things that you once believed was right, which now is not right.
Yeah.
So you have to be open to change,
Yeah.
and there's a lot you can learn. There's a lot you can use it for, and you can also have a lot of fun with it. So but just I think it's important to be who you are. Just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean you have to.
Yeah.
So you can do, I think it's important to know who you are and walk the path that's meant for you.
Right. Thank you so much, Otara, for the lovely answers and the lovely conversation that we had. Right. And I think the final question of the day from me is, if compassion was a message, right? If this was your final message about compassion, what would you like to share with the world?
It's a much better life when you sort of live it with kindness and compassion and love and happiness, and just having, just being able to enjoy yourself and have fun also while you're doing all the other things. And I think it's important. That's important to to project a way of life that's better for all, and a better world for animals and people.
Right. Thank you so much. Right. So there you have it, an episode on compassion, of it being a choice, with one, the only Otara Gunewardene. Thank you so much for making time to spread awareness. Absolutely love your work. And I'm pretty sure you're getting an array of responses with your work, your videos, and whatever the current change is. Love it. Keep doing what you're doing. Until we see you again on MTV, on CMG, or even on another episode of Legend Spotlight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.